Well, I'm not going to cruel his pitch, but listen carefully to what he's about to tell you about a Terrigal childcare centre dealing with children who are 3 and 4 years of age. Mark joins me. Mark, thank you for your time, but away you go.
Well, thanks, Alan. This was a note that went out to parents of this Explore and Develop childcare centre on the New South Wales Central Coast, and it points out that the World Pride has started and continues through to the 5th of March, and they say, we would like to acknowledge Pride Week and the children at our childcare centre by offering experience such as dress-ups, rainbow-inspired art, temporary tattoos and face painting. The children in our junior and senior preschool rooms, as you point out, 3 and 4-year-olds, will also have the opportunity to read stories and engage in age-appropriate discussion around LGBTQIA+, diversity and acceptance. And then they say it's important for the children to understand what's going on and appreciate people who have a different way of life. Well, you've got to ask the basic question, Alan, what sort of understanding of those different letters of the alphabet could a 3 and 4-year-old have? T is for transgender. What understanding of a 3-year-old boy becoming a girl is possible in that age cohort? Q is for queer. Now, I've studied a lot of these issues. I don't exactly know what they mean by queer. It used to be a synonym for gay. It's got some other meaning now. I is for intersex, which is a biological condition where people are born male and female. How could a 3 or 4-year-old understand that? And A is for asexual. And then plus is the rest of the alphabet. So what sort of age-appropriate discussion could 3 and 4-year-olds have about this? And anyway, why is sexuality and these different classifications in LGBTQIA+ necessary for childcare children who are so young, they've got no appreciation of things like gender and sexuality, and much more pressing priority, surely, to do some basic play, some basic reading if they can, some basic numbers with blocks and whatever, to try and get on the pathway to doing well at kindergarten at age 5. So there's a sickness in the child minding and preschool and education system where there's a belief that children as young as 3 and 4 need to have sexuality and gender teaching when clearly they've got no understanding about any of this stuff.
And have you got any idea what the parent reaction was?
Well, there's an opportunity not to participate, and obviously the parent who complained to me wasn't going to send their kid and pay fees for a 3 or 4-year-old to learn about transgender, queer, intersex and asexual and other things, reading books and doing other activities around this. So parents don't like it. Common sense would tell you it's unnecessary. None of this is age appropriate at all. And it's really trying to push a sexuality and gender ideology that's all wrong.
Well, if ever was appropriate in the education system, I would have thought these are matters for parents at the end of the day. But Mark, everywhere you turn, we've been talking about this for months and months, everywhere they seem to have woken up, years after you and I have, that there is a massive crisis in education, but they're still on the wrong tram. I was just looking at some headlines today. Unhappy teachers on the brink. It's past time for tough love. The old chestnut about public and private school kids and how much money that each school gets. And then another headline, there's urgent need to recognise and respect our best teachers. And a valid point, of course, but it's not the main point. Another one says, we're drowning here, reporting that half of Australia's stressed teachers plan to quit within a year. I wonder if they ask them why. And then what we know, children of migrants are teaching Aussie kids lessons. But Mark, in all of this, not one syllable, not one sentence, not one page about what is being taught in our schools or not being taught, and that surely is the crisis.
Oh yes, what happens in the classroom is the main determinant of education outcomes. And you raised a point relevant to this childcare centre. It's up to the parents. Alan, there's no parents out there who think, oh, I've got a 3 and 4-year-old, I better school them on sexuality or gender transition or queer, intersex, asexual. These are things that are left for discussions in the home when the children are obviously much, much older.